Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Donnie all day. I'm excited about this video. This is going to be this is one of my favorite gun video topics because it makes grown men who like to pretend they're tough guys, it makes them whine like little sissies. Literally, this subject will make grown men cry like babies because there's so many people out there who think that that if you don't have some kind of 44 Magnum or if you aren't strapped with a 1911 or a 357 Magnum, then there's no such thing as self-defense. You can't defend yourself without any of those. But that's bullshit. So today we're going to talk about one of these guys. This one is completely empty. It's unloaded. But we're going to talk about a 22, just a 22. And the main question is, can you use a 22 for self-defense? Oh, it's the question that bugs so many. Now, there's a big difference between should you and can you. I happen to use a lot of times, and I mean a lot of times, a 22 Magnum for self-defense. It's one of my favorite all-time rounds. I could use a 22 Magnum for just about anything. But the 22 long rifle is a little bit different. The 22 Magnum, so it's kind of unfair to say, can you use a 22? Because with that 22 Magnum, yes, I did a video on it. I'll put the link down below. The 22 Magnum, yes, you can use as self-defense, and I explain why and how. And there's still some people out there that just don't get it. And I didn't even say, it wasn't even a video of can you, it's why I do. Why I use the 22 Magnum. And there's people out there, oh, you're lying to people and you're misleading people. I'm not misleading anyone if I say it's why I do. It's my personal choice. Gun guys cry when you don't talk about their caliber. So can you use the 22 long rifle for self-defense? So the short answer is yes. So the biggest thing going against it is it lacks stopping power. It's unreliable. All right. But there's almost no recoil. You can land shot after shot after shot without muzzle flip, and you can be on target. Outside of that, if I am loading up, which I do because you can see them right here, with some Federal Punch. I know the video's backwards, but it says Federal Punch. Federal Punch, or even some, these are Magnums, but got so much down here. Some Stingers, something like this. I have had so far no misfires on any of the really good ammo coming out of a good firearm. I have had none. So people talk about the reliability issue. Reliability issue a lot of times comes down to what kind of ammo are you using. If you have one of those milk cartons full of rounds that are banging around against each other, and you're going to have probably a lot of misfires, a lot more than you would is if you get rounds in a plastic tray. When you get rounds like this, you're generally automatically going to have a better time. When you get super quality rounds, you are going to have a way better time. I'm watching videos on the Tippmann M422, and between the new Magnum version and the long rifle version, I'm watching guys put out between 500 to 1,000 rounds without a misfire. 22. So you can call it unreliable, but it's only partly true. Good ammo gives you a better chance. Not only that, but if you were to put it in a revolver, now you're not going to have things like stovepiping and things like that. All you do is pull the hammer and go to the next round. And that is magical. It works out so well. So I want to show you, because I'm a combat guy. And in combat, we use the the 5.56, right? The M16s were 223, which is pretty much the same round. The difference being the size in here, in that little part of the bullet. But what we're going to do is I want to show you something that a lot of people just don't know because they are bullet uneducated. This is the bullet head we use in combat. This is a 22 bullet head. You can see that this is like 223, it's 0.223, this would be 0.22. This is almost the same exact girth. The difference is this has a ton more power, and it's longer, right? So this will hit inside of a body and it'll do what this will do. It'll hit bones and it will tumble and create a mess. This thing right here, a 22, is almost the same diameter as what we use in combat. All right, so a lot of people don't know that, and they go into it. They're I'll just leave them there for now. No, I'll pick them up. So if you can work around reliability by either using a quality handgun with super quality rounds or really good rounds and a revolver, the whole reliable issue kind of, you know what I mean? You can get around that. What it comes down to is stopping power. And that's where this thing is lacking. If one of the rounds hits you in a non-vital spot, it's not going to stop something moving forward. It's not going to stop it in its tracks. But that's where the 22 comes in handy, because you don't always need it to stop somebody on the first round, right? But another thing with the 22 is because it has almost no recoil, it's really great for people with like tiny hands, weak hands, arthritic hands. You know, if you have reduced strength or just general like recoil sensitivity, somebody with really small or weak hands or arthritic hands is going to have a much easier time. And people who like to talk about caliber only think about themselves, and they're thinking, oh, I'm a big, strong guy. I can shoot anything. I could shoot a 12 gauge with one hand. That's great. That's great. You are not everybody. You're not. Not everybody can do what you do, Superman. So you'll have to forgive the person whose hands maybe maybe they're deformed. Maybe they have something wrong. Or maybe they have tendon issues or some kind of nerve issue and they cannot handle the recoil. A 22 is better than a sharpened stick. It's the old line. It's better than a sharpened stick. I can defend myself with a BB gun. I can defend myself with a slingshot. I can defend myself with a handful of sand, right? This is way better than any of those. Way better. This, unlike a handful of sand, this is deadly. It's a deadly, deadly tool. Assassins use the 22 long rifle for different reasons. It's a deadly tool. So the naysayers like to say that because of the stopping power, you have low energy, low expansion, so it's not going to immediately stop a determined attacker. But I would, or they say it takes multiple shots with a 22 to achieve the same stopping power effect as, say, a single round of 9mm or 45. So what? Okay, so you're saying I can shoot you once with a 9mm and hope to get back on zero because my muzzle just flipped? And hope to get back on center mass real fast, or I can stay on center mass and unload 10 rounds at ease real fast into a 4-inch area. I have so much problems listening to that. So stopping power is nothing without placement. If you've seen people, there's people all over, they've been shot 8, 9 times with a 9mm and they lived. Because if the placement is bad, who cares? If you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, and the person is still going to live. So without well placed rounds, what is your shot any good for? A well placed 22 long rifle to any vital area can be more effective than any poorly placed round in a non-vital area. That's not my opinion. That's fact. So the 22 might be less powerful, but it's still extremely, extremely lethal. Reliability claims are just the secondary crybaby excuses. Failure to feed, problems you get the revolver for. And then you have 0 failure to feed issues. They're gone. When you fail to fire, you keep pulling the trigger. It's just the way it works. So all of that, it's just really hard for me to take people serious when that's what they're arguing. Well placed rounds, boom, 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 more of them going into a small area is going to do more damage than a non well placed round hitting in a non vital area. I have some like notes off to the side to remind me because I'll just forget. So with real world defensive situations, accuracy and speed matter more than caliber alone. The 22, it's really easy to shoot. It allows for rapid follow-up shots with minimal recoil. It might not stop the attacker immediately, but multiple well-placed shots will make up for the caliber's lack of raw power, and that again is fact. And usually just the presence alone of a firearm, is enough to deter an attacker. If you're being armed alone can scare off somebody who wants to come get you, because most attackers, most bad guys don't want conflict coming back to them. They don't. They are hoping for the easy target. And that's one thing you learn as a soldier is you always want to present yourself as a hard target because it's the easy targets the terrorists, the bad guys are looking for. So can you use a 22 long rifle for self-defense? Absolutely. There's just a few things. You use high quality, tray packed rounds, keep your firearm clean, focus on placement. So practice with your gun, learn how to put that thing on center mass every time. Practice means a lot. Don't be afraid of a good wheel gun, a good revolver. A good revolver is going to absolutely change the game when talking about rimfire shooting. The 22 lacks power, yes, but it is 100% far from useless when it comes to stopping an attacker. And I know for me, somebody who shoots and somebody who knows how to put a round in center mass, if the attacker was coming at me and I had 10 rounds of 22 long rifle, I can put all 10 rounds between the heart and head. And it's only going to take one in each. The rest are just bonus. So that's it. The short answer, can you use, not should you use, but can you use a 22 long rifle for self-defense? Yes, you can. I personally, if you do have recoil issues or hand issues, I would absolutely 100% recommend the 22 Magnum. It is an extremely powerful gun. It's going to have more penetrating abilities than a 38 Special. The 22 Magnum will go further through a target than a 38 Special. And a 38 Special is one of the most common self-defense rounds in the world. So it says something about the 22 Magnum. And again, I'll put my video down below on why I personally carry a 22 Magnum. I happen to like it. I happen to love it. And even this guy right here, when I go hiking, a lot of times I will absolutely 100% take my 22 long rifle. This gun is really reliable. It's really accurate. It's really easy to stay on center mass. And I will take this out with me a lot. A lot of times with big animals, especially, sometimes it's just the noise alone that'll scare them off. But 10 well placed 22 long rifle rounds in a mountain lion is going to do the job. It's absolutely going to do the job. And anybody who tells you different is a liar, because maybe they have issues. You never know. But that's it for this one. Yeah, you can. Maybe you shouldn't rely on just a 22 long rifle, but you absolutely can. And that's it for this one. I am Donnie. Until next video.